Okay, my friends, another shocker du jour. I know everybody knows what a callus is on a big toe. Normally some people have them, some people don't, I suppose, but I do. And so does this guy here. That is a big toe. And that's the toenail right there. This right here is the callus. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. Let me, oh man, this thing is heavy. Now, right there is the callus. You see that cornified skin? Oh, that's what they call cornified. And it wraps right around here as the callus. Oh, that's how thick this callus is. You see that? That's the callus. This is the bottom of the toe. This is just one big toe. And this is the side where the red blood is on. Now, here's the cool thing about this. Red blood usually blows right out. It just blows right out. So there's no restriction to red blood. That should have blown out of here. It did not. So the vein blew out, which never, ever, ever happens, except that this was so sealed up because of this callus, the blood couldn't come out. Okay, get ready for this. That is a big toe. That right there is the toenail, and it's all bubbled up from blood. This must have been laying down in this direction, and the blood tried to come out, and it could not come out of the artery side because of this huge, monstrous callus. All right, that is a gigantic callus. You see this? That's the callus right there that caps over the artery side. They normally just blow completely out. So what would have to happen? This is the red blood side. The red blood couldn't come out. So where did it go? It went out the vein side. See that? That's as black can be. And that never, ever, ever happens. Hold on. All right, take your time and look. You should be able to see this. That is one of the veins. That's the other vein. They never blow out. All this black stuff is blood. That blood should have never come out of there. It should be just plugged up, basically. They exploded right out of here because it couldn't get out of the red side. Usually the red just runs right out, no problem whatsoever. Red blood is very, very thin and weak. Now, but the blood had to go somewhere. Now, the only thing I can think of was for that to blow out so amazingly, this thing had to be like this. So all the blood coming down was forced to go somewhere. And it came out of here because it could not come out of here, which was the callus. Now this is the bottom of the toe, and I'm going to show you something about plagioclases, because geology I got some serious issues. All right, now, oh man, this sucker's heavy. This is the toenail right there. All right, can you see that? That's the toenail. All right, and that's the callus. I was thinking about knocking that thing off just to see. There should be plenty of metals under there. That's why this thing is heavy. I mean, it is heavy. And metals are in the blood. Now, I'm going to put this in a microscope. You'll see there's all kind of metal crystals in here. And I imagine right behind this is probably packed in with gold and all kinds of silver and stuff. That is heavy. This thing weighs a ton. And that's how they would have filtered this stuff out. You'll see it in the microscope. Let's take a look. But don't forget, that's all it is. It's a callus. You know, it's a little bigger than that toe, but that's what it is a callus. Now this is the back end. Right there. That's where the vein comes back. And they have clamps. They're not supposed to leak out like that. And this is the tunica that wraps around it. You see that? Wrapping around there. This is where the artery would have been. Right there, that's the artery. And like I say, they just leak right out, so you almost don't even see arteries. And that right there is the vein. That's the two little spots in the vein. They all have that two over here, and two at the front. All right, you saw the top, you saw the toenail, you saw the callus on the other side. This is the side that has that scruffy looking, webby looking skin that goes up against your other toe. All right, that's it right there. Now, then we come to the bottom. All right, this is going to be interesting because here we're going to see the plagioclases, and we'll look at this in the microscope. Very quite obvious. And there is an explanation for plagioclases, and it does not fit my explanation. Now, that's that little hard spot on the back of your, the bottom of your toe, really gnarly hard. And this is just the bottom of the toe. And of course, that's the gigantic, man, I'm telling you, my mind is going on me. It's the callus. So let's take a look at this in a microscope and see all these metal crystals, because that's where they're going to collect is metals. I bet you if I broke that off, there's got to be some serious metals back there. Once again, home of the shocker du jour. That is the callus right there. This is the bottom of the toe. I showed you the toenail up above. All right, so there's the callus. Now, you see these little white flakes in there? They're identical to those. Now, I will show you those in the microscope. You may not be able to see them well there, but trust me, that's exactly what they are. And we're going to go look at them in the microscope. You see, that's what they are here. And what they're claiming is those are plagioclases. Plagioclase crystals here in an igneous rock are often white, yes. And this came from Death Valley. And that's the bottom of the toe. So don't forget, here's the callus. All right, there's that monster. Oh, callus. Now, you see these little dots and cornifications there? Whoops, no, you can't see it, can you? All right, well, we started back here. We started at the callus. Let me back this up. All right, so we're at the callus, and this is the bottom of the toe. We come around here, and that's the cornified callus. You see the little bumpy spots? You see those little bumps? That's cornified. That's the callus. It's just exactly what it is. Now, as you come up over the top where the toenail is, there's the toenail. Right up here. You see that? Oh, man, I'll tell you, this thing is heavy as they get. All right, you see that? That's the toenail. All right, now, on the other side is where the vein blood should have never blown out. That should have never happened. And there they are. There's the two spots right there that blew out. All that black blood blew out. Never, ever would that happen. And never would it blow out down here either, which it also did. You see it? And it's because of the cap. It's over top of where the artery was. So again, I think I explained this. It was coming down like this. The blood would have had to be coming down in here. And it's just packed up in here so bad that it popped back out of here and didn't come out of the callus. The callus just acted like a bandage across there. All right, now let's go into the microscope and see what kind of metals we can find in here. Okay, you see where we are? This is the back of the toe coming up this way. This is that monster callus. That's the break in between where the callus adheres to the toe. This down here is actual toe. This right to here is callus. And we're going to find some of these little flaky things. I don't know if you can see them where you are, but I can certainly see them here. Those are little metal flakes. And they're very tiny, and we won't see a lot, but we should see something up in the microscope. So we're going to be looking up in the microscope here in a second. Let me turn the lights off and let it settle down. All right, well, first of all, those are those plagioclase fibers that are all on the bottom. I showed you those white fibers, they're all on the bottom of the toe. That's those. All right, here's the toe, and that's the callus, and we're down pretty close. And all of those little shiny little spots are metals. Some of them I don't know what they are, but they're metals. Now all this grainy looking stuff, that's all the webbing of the callus. Now I'm going to take some other shots. Let me get positioned in a couple of different other ways. See, this is all biology too. Well, everything's biology, so. Now, this is, you know, the reddish looking blood. These are the metals oozing out between the tissues because they're being filtered by this blood, by this callus. And you see all these little, those are all metals that are being filtered through there. And it goes, this whole crack is like that all the way out. Ouch. Ooh. Pinch myself. You see, here's another spot up here. That's red blood coming out of there. You know, because a little bit of it's going to leak. This side was supposed to be red, just gushing out. So this is a tiny little dribble. But you see, all of that's all metals. There's a lot of metals in there, and behind that, I would imagine there's a lot more metals. I'm really tempted to knock that thing off of there. Okay, one more time. Get the lay of the land. That is the major, gigantic callus. This is the black vein blood that leaked out because they had nowhere else to go. This is, some of it bubbled up here through the toenail. Ooh, I showed the tip and all that stuff. It is what it is, and it is a gigantic toe, and it is heavy as can be. So it's saturated with metals is all I can think. Ugh. All right, now I'm going to put some water on here, and then we're going to take a look at this a little closer because the water brings out the colors. And you'll be able to see, I believe, the toenail a little bit better. Now, this part down here is, there's a vein here. Now, it's supposed to come this way, the vein blood. It exploded out of here because there was nowhere for it to go. This kept forcing it into the veins. The veins had no way to let it back, and it literally exploded. You see that? That's a literal explosion. That's an explosion of black blood. You see that? I hope you can see that. That's the vein. It just exploded. Now, what else do you see here? You see the bone. This is the pattern of the bone back here. Right in here. You see? And on the other side here was the artery. An artery doesn't blow out. They just don't have any pressure inside them. That thing exploded. Now I'm going to put a little water on here. We'll look and see the difference in colors. Everybody that's been with me understands the black is the vein blood. The red is the arterial blood. So the red would have been on this side. The black would have been on this side. They come across together in the middle. That's just the way they work. Oh, wow, I put a ton of water on there. It really slurped it up. But hopefully you can see a little bit better. I don't know. At least you can see the colors of the blood and all that stuff. The black and the red a little bit better. But this is the base of the toenail. It's a big toenail. It's a big toe. And I think I've been pretty clear about being the vein, being the artery side, and having it capped off with this monster callus. You saw the vein over here at the bottom. You saw the plagioclase is underneath. I'm not going to move it. plagioclases underneath. It's exactly the same as what you see here. They're exactly the same thing as those plagioclases. You see? And they, you know, they making up names for rocks and stuff. You can see there's a little blood in there too. You see that little red spot in the middle? They don't see any of these details. They don't pick up anything on the details. I'm a details guy. And this, my friends, is a gigantic toe. What it is happens to be what it is. Now, this is in pretty good shape. If I just drilled in there, I could easily get some red blood out of here. All I have to do is go down right in one of these areas over here where the red blood is. You probably start squirting out of there, like hitting an oil well. All right, but you got to understand, they're talking about plagioclases, and there's, I don't know, they make up some kind of story about it. But this is a biology body part of some creature, and these flakes are in the type of membranes that have to stretch and move like that in lungs and on the toe and the bottom of the toe, the skin, I call it grip skin. And this is a lung, and that lung has all of those same fibers. It's completely saturatedly coated with those fibers. So they're not just in toes or lungs, they're all over the place. So the body uses the same stuff in many, many areas, and it's for the stuff that does this kind of thing, like your heart, your lungs, almost everything has to move inside of you. Bones are a little different, tendons are a little bit different, muscles are a little different, but all your fleshy things, you want something of strappiness to keep things together. That's it. Okay, my friends, that is the big toe, and that is the plagioclases. They're all over that. They're all over the lungs. They're everywhere. So it's nothing special. Now, I have the lung itself right here in the microscope. Now, here it is in the microscope, and I have it on a nice little bloody spot. So I'm hoping we're going to get a catalase reaction. And you say, well, Roger, what is a catalase reaction? And I say, well, I'm glad you asked. Let's take a look. All right, so I showed you this is the big toe, and this is up where the toenail is and where it's blown out. It's got some blood coming up. I believe that's right at the edge of the toenail, and this is blood that is boiling out of there. Now, let's put some hydrogen peroxide in there and see if we get any bubbles. We should see them, especially in the seams. Well, I'm not seeing much. Well, yeah, I'm seeing a little up there. It might have to settle in for a while. I mean, this thing is, I believe, 3,500 years ago. This was when this was laid down. Now, will it still have catalase in there? I don't know. Catalase is what's in your blood and in the trees and plants and everything. And what it does is it scavenges extra oxygens. Now, what I put in there was, instead of water, which is H2O, I put in here H2O2. I think this is reactions all over here. But we got to get right down. I'm too far away. That's the problem. These are reactions here. Those are, see the reaction up there? It's really starting to kick in. Let me put a little more on here, and then I'm going to run right up against it. All right, we're just too far away. I think. I don't know. We'll see. I have been wrong before. As could very well be the case here. Boy, I tell you, I would expect to see some bubbling here somewhere. That is bizarre. I'm not seeing a damn bubble. Oh, there's a bubble up here. This is so unusual. I can't tell you. Let's get down to this area down here. Maybe we got another area we can find something that's going to bubble. The best place to look for the bubbles is the creases. It's like a membrane invasion. A little tiny bit. That could just be from settling in. I'm shocked. I'm shocked because I'm not shocked. That in itself is shocking. I can't believe this. I absolutely cannot believe we're not seeing. The only one I'm seeing is here. Now, it might take a whole long time for this stuff to really become reactive. But I am seeing a little bit of activation up there. But I mean, so that's just nothing. That is absolutely nothing compared to what it should do. It's just a bubble right up. And that is just not happening. Let me see if I can find a better spot. All right, the red blood side didn't do anything, did I? I mean, I give it 0. Now let's see this side here. This is the black side blood. Here it goes. There's a bubbling. This side has the catalase. You see it bubbling out of there? Let me turn the light down a little more. You see the bubbles coming out? That's a catalase reaction. All down that seam. That should start percolating pretty good because it kicked in pretty fast. I put quite a bit of H2O2 in there. You see it all bubbling off now. That's a nice strong reaction. It takes a few minutes for it to actually penetrate into the, into the stuff that's been hardened up, the surface stuff. And then once it does, it starts to bubble off pretty good because there's going to be oxygen in this hydrogen peroxide that needs to be scavenged, and so the catalase is still active in here. If the catalase as an enzyme is still active, which no question it is, then you would have to at least think if maybe the DNA was still somewhat active, and I know it is because mine were in similar kind of condition as this, actually a little better, and they were dense, excellent quality DNA. You see how it's all bubbling out of here now? That's the reaction of catalase. It scavenges oxygen. Now, virtually everything I have is coated with feldspar because feldspar is aluminum silicates, and the aluminum silicates boil down from the phosphorus, and phosphorus is what is the membranes. The membranes are all made of phosphorus. When they boiled down from this disaster, and there was so much silicates coming up from below, they turned into aluminum silicates. Every single feldspar is composed of aluminum silicates. They may have other little attachments here and there, but every one is an aluminum silicate. Now, they're talking about feldspars may be partly weathered, altered clay minerals. Well, yeah, that's the flesh. It's and then they give it a whole bunch of different names. Calcic plagioclase gives them somewhat dirty and worn out appearance. Plagioclase is more susceptible to weathering. They have all of these different things they've seen about, but they still don't understand. That is biology. That's not just something that formed by itself. Here's some more of the plagioclases. They often form prolific texture in mafic volcanic rocks. They attribute everything to volcanoes. It's all literally biology, almost all of it. I mean, there is volcanic rock. Obviously, it's melted biology. That's all it is. All right, this is feldspar. This is virtually everything that is made of membranes is feldspar. It's the phospholipids. Feldspar is aluminum silicates. Now, here's what they're saying. Feldspar, the most abundant mineral group in the Earth's crust. Yes. There are more feldspars, 60%, than all the other minerals combined in the outer 13 to 17 kilometers of the crust. Feldspars occur in most igneous and metamorphic rocks. They occur in all rocks. They are less common in sedimentary rocks. Well, yes, that's true. Sedimentary rocks are weathered rocks, as they tend to break down to clay in minerals. I agree with that. In the weathering environment. Now, feldspars are broadly divided into two groups: alkali feldspars and plagioclase feldspars. Common alkali feldspars are orthoclase, microlines, sanidines. Plagioclase feldspars, albeit labradite, and anthrite. Now, call them anything you want, and divide them into any groups you want. That's fine. I'm trying to think of where one of them might be the organs. The plagioclases on organs. One of them might be the plagioclases on grip skin. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, that's just a bloody rock. That's just blood from a rock that was alive at one time. Red colored, yes. All about silicates, heavy minerals. Minerals are what you live on. That's your body. That's the chemistry of your body. So I think I've made my case. Thank you, my good friends.